The paper that we'll be discussing today is titled with a meta-analysis of calcium silicate-based cement and calcium hydroxide as a promoters of hard tissue bridge formation that recently published by Silva and colleague in IEJ in 2025. As an introduction, vital bulb therapy are aimed to preserve and maintain the pulp tissue by effective coverage and protection of the exposed and injured bulb, that encouraging the bulb to heal and form a protective hard tissue bridge. For a long time, calcium hydroxide was the gold standard. However, it has some limitation. Therefore, MTA, particularly pro-route MTA, which become a favored due to its superior properties. And more recently, a new generation of calcium silicate based cement like Biodentin, Portland, Theracell, Indosequence, Indosim, Angelus, etc., have emerged aiming to improve some of the MTA handling and potential discoloration. So, this systematic review or a meta analysis was aimed to compare the Pro-Rote MTA with those of the other calcium silicate based cement and calcium hydroxide in terms of their morphology, continuity, and thickness of the hard tissue barrier formation, indirect pulp capping, and pulpotomy procedures. So, this is a systematic review and meta analysis conducted according to the PRISMA 2020 guideline with a focus question of: does pro-rote MTA successfully induce hard tissue bridge formation compared to other calcium silicate and calcium hydroxide? The author searched on six major databases up to May 2024 with no language restriction. The study that were selected based on the PICOS criteria of only clinical trial that evaluate the hard tissue bridge formation in vital bulb therapy of human teeth uh, that either carious or non-carious using pro-rote MTE compared with using other calcium silicate based cement or calcium hydroxide, and other retrospective observational studies, case report, preliminary report, letter to editors, opinion, animal studies, and review were not considered for eligibility. And the quality assessment of each included study for the risk of bias and meta-analysis to statistically compare the frequency of complete hard tissue bridge formation with minimum follow-up of a period of 30 days. A total of 26 clinical trials that met the inclusion criteria, and most of the studies were conducted on healthy sound teeth, either third molar or premolar, that are planned for extraction. And across the studies, pro-rote MTA consistently demonstrate a superior outcome in the term of hard tissue bridge formation compared to calcium hydroxide. Pro-rote MTA showed a higher frequency of complete bridge formation, thicker bridges, and better morphology. And at 90 days post-treatment, the complete bridge formation rate was 86.7% for MTA versus only 33% for calcium hydroxide. And when comparing with other calcium silicate base cement, pro-rote MTA also perform a better, particularly in the continuity, while some material like Biodentin showed a similar result in terms of the thickness. And pro-rote MTA produce more continuous and well-formed bridges. Thermacell and retro MTAs and endosequence material demonstrate low performance in terms of both quality and the continuity of the bridge. However, the major of this included study had high risk of bias, with overall certainty of the evidence was rated as low according to the GRADE framework, which I think is that due to the majority of the included clinical trial that used intentionally exposed bulb in a sound teeth, which does not reflect the actual clinical complexity of caries exposure. So the finding of this paper reinforced that the ProRot MTA remain the most evidence-supported material for vital bulb therapy when the goal is to induce a predictable and high-quality calcified barrier and ability to form a thick and continuous hard tissue bridge in a vital bulb therapy. Thank you.